In June of 2013, we read about documents that Edward Snowden leaked pertaining to surveillance by the U.S. National Security Agency.
The NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone. It ingests them by default.
For over a year after the Snowden leaks, there hadn't been a single media report on the main legal authority that the NSA is using to collect Americans' data. It happens under something called Executive Order 12333. What the NSA was doing then and is still doing now is violating Americans' Fourth Amendment rights. And so every time you send an email, whether it be Yahoo, Google, Hotmail, whatever it is, that doesn't just go on your computer and the recipient's computer. It goes on a network of servers and fiber optic cables around the world. And on most of these services, it ends up being stored and backed up in multiple countries, sometimes over a dozen countries around the world. The minute that data leaves American soil, transits outside the United States, it's stored outside of the United States, the NSA can collect it because it's treated as foreign person's data because it's outside of the United States at the time of collection. And they use basically a legal loophole to collect all this stuff, treat it as foreign person data, not provide protections to Americans on the collection and retention of their data if it's collected outside the United States. So this is essentially a huge loophole that allows the NSA to collect all of our American data in ways that aren't transparent to the public or even to Congress. So I worked at the State Department from 2011 to 2014, and I was the section chief of the Internet Freedom Team. I helped lead diplomatic efforts around the world to promote a free and open internet. I was part of the diplomatic team responding to complaints from around the world. I got a couple of briefings from the National Security Agency on the scope of U.S. intelligence practices.
That phone in your pocket right now might be a government spying device.
The scope of these surveillance programs is immense.
It became clear the president was going to give a speech about changes to U.S. intelligence practices in the wake of the disclosures.
And for our intelligence community to be effective over the long haul, we must maintain the trust of the American people and people around the world.
Ultimately, he didn't discuss 12333 at all or any of the collection and retention practices of our data. And that was very disappointing to me. And so at that point, I had been working for months to try to get my concerns dealt with through the bureaucratic process, through the government. After that speech, I started thinking, okay, I might have to make a whistleblower disclosure here. The op-ed that I wrote got a lot of attention. My disclosure was successful in alerting the media, in alerting activists and the American public and members of Congress that this kind of thing is happening, and it has managed to start a debate that wasn't happening before. When I had been a whistleblower, I had seen how difficult it was to get support. I had to basically tap my own network of contacts, try to find a lawyer. I had to pay them myself. There really wasn't an institution able to support me. Mark was my lawyer during my whistleblower process. So I met Mark back in 2014. He walked me through my lawful disclosure process, going to the inspectors general, to Congress, pre-publication review. And then, of course, we stayed in touch. And in 2017, I realized there was a really important role for an institution that would be able to help whistleblowers. I wish there had been something like that when I needed it. So we created Whistleblower Aid to help the next whistleblowers, the next person trying to come forward with sensitive information that could get themselves in trouble, and help them do it lawfully and safely so that they're not jeopardizing, their career or their freedom as much as possible.